I just cooked up a hidden same game parlay with 8,000 odds that I do plan on showcasing later on in this video. Stay tuned and I'll be sure to reveal it to you guys. Without further ado, my name is Rue. I'm from EliteLineSports. It's a 6-game NBA slate. Now let's get into it. That being said, first up we got the first two games of the night, Knicks and Pistons. Cade Cunningham looks very well. Cade Cunningham is playing against a top 10 defense in the Knicks. I think on the Knicks side that Karl-Anthony Towns is doubtful, meaning that he will not play. However, if we're going to touch a Cade game, one thing I do like, so 3 things I like. I like his points, 24.5. It was just 24.5, now 25.5. His points and assists, and his assists. However, I feel most confident in the assist. I understand that the Knicks are top 5 in defense, having to stop players from getting their assists. However, the hit rate is just, for similar players like Cade Cunningham, is very close. Doncic, Harden, Trae Young basically got it. However, the Pistons are on the tail end of a back-to-back. The Knicks had a day of rest, meaning that there is no Karl-Anthony Towns. So I think that Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are a bit more rested than what the Pistons are. Now, Jalen Duren is questionable. He may or may not play. However, on the tail end of a back-to-back, Cade Cunningham, these are his assists. This is why I feel more confident with his assists. This time we will hit with Cade Cunningham's assists. Literally, his past 4 games have been 11, 13, 14, and 12. And then, so he's 5 out of 7, 71%. Now, the Knicks and the Pistons have played. The Pistons are top 1. He's had 13 assists, right? When everyone played except for Karis LeVert, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. So these players did not play. However, Tobias Harris is probable. Duncan Robinson is probable. Jalen Duren, he's questionable. So, lock in Cade Cunningham's assist. Another thing from this game I do like, and we're going to get right back to the well. Again, Mikal Bridges didn't hit for us last time. Yeah, they're not showing the Knicks. Maybe they're doing an update. Oh, here they are. Mikal Bridges didn't hit last time. His hit rate looks great. He's played against them 10 points. However, without Cat, he does get a slight boost. Without Cat on the field, on the court, he scored 12, 22, and 18. So he's 2 out of 3 with having his hit rate. Normally his points is at 15, 14.5, but they bumped it up to 16.5. So they do think that Mikal Bridges kind of gets it going. OG Anunoby is questionable as well, so that'll give him a slight bump. So Mikal Bridges, again, and they're dead last with having the shooting guards like Mikal Bridges. So I think Mikal Bridges steps up big here. He scored 5 points in a double overtime against the Nuggets. That's not going to get it done, and I'm sure that the Knicks are going to go right back to the chalkboard and try and get Mikal Bridges started. So I do like Mikal Bridges, so that's 2 legs that I like off of this game. Next up, the Heat and Celtics. I like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, anything that you can kind of touch your points looks good. 7 out of 10, 70%, 14%. Similar players are getting 3 to 4 over the line. Literally, and they're 29 out of 30 when having to guard the shooting guard small 4 positions. The Heat is bad at that. They're second to last. The PRA looks doable. They're dead last at having to guard shooting guard small forwards like Jaylen Brown, having to get the PRA. His PRA is at 41.5. I like that as a lock. Hit rate 9 out of 15. Similar players are getting 1. It's close to 2 over the line. So that's something that's very doable. So I kind of want you guys to lock that in. Another leg that I like off of this could be a strong pivot for you guys, is Norman Powell. Norman Powell's points looks great. He literally is just coming back off of an injury. And I think that literally the Heat hasn't been looking too hot. And I know the hit rate is now a little bit too sexy. It's 40%. It's a tad bit under 50. However, the past 2 games, he has been scoring. And Norman Powell is key to the Heat making it a game. So, again, I understand that the defenses are here. He's 6 for 12. That's a 50% chance. I do think the line is at 20.5. Just kind of book it for 20. So, I do like that because that hook really might fuck with y'all. The spot ups, they're 18 out of 30. The Celtics are not that well at that. And I do think Norman Powell cooks the mess up. You dig what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're moving on to the next game. Pacers and Bucks. This game is just got a bunch of stars and scrubs. I think it's just a whole bunch of scrubs from this game. Kevin Porter Jr. is back. Kevin Porter kind of had a game yesterday. First game back, 33 off of 29 minutes in overtime game against the Pelicans. That's kind of the game that they kind of needed for him to kick off. He's 11 out of 21, having to hit his PRA in the past 20 games. Hit rate for similar players is 8 out of 15. They're just hitting it, and they're literally defending guards. Literally, the Pacers are second to dead last, 28 out of 30. So I kind of like the PRA as a lock here. After that, I like Miles Turner for his PNR. First game back, he literally got 25. The line is at 21.5. I think playing with Kevin Porter Jr., he's going to hit more of his rebounds and his points more because, again, you have two guards like Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. who likes to dish the rock. So they're going to look for their bigs or forwards or centers to be scoring off of those points. Now, again, Pacers are 24 out of 30. Having to guard the centers like Miles Turner. Similar players, gets one over the line. Hit rate, 8 out of 15. So 1% difference. That's a thing that I like. So P and R is at 21.5. That is what I like. Next up, we got Anthony Edwards. And I think this is a runaway game. Now, I have a sneaky... Now, hold on. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. After the last prop, I will give out my Hidden Same Game Parlay. I will show it to you guys so that we can win money together. Because last time I hit something like this, it was an 8-leg. I'm going to show it to you guys so that we can all make some money together. So, Anthony Edwards, I do think this is a runaway game. Spreads at 8.5. Literally, the Pelicans, I know that they've been looking all right. However, when the last couple of games with the Wolves playing at home, they look great. Anthony Edwards, literally the Pels are 29 out of 30, having the guard shooting guards like Anthony Edwards. When he plays teams that are bottom 10 at having to guard his position, he's 11 out of 15. Literally, the hit rate is 50%. I do think Anthony Edwards scores way over 30. Past 3 games, he's scored 33, 39, and 30. So, again, he's back home. I think Anthony Edwards handles business, and I don't think the Pels even make it even a game. Another sneaker prop that I like is Trey Murphy under 21.5 points. It's just, I mean, look, I just think it's going to be so much of a runaway, and I get it, but not saying that you guys should plug that in. This is just something that, if you want to add on to your books, you know what I mean, to your ticket, trying to see if you want to get a little bit more odds, that's something more doable. With that being said, I don't like too much of the late games, Clippers and Kings, Grizzlies and Blazers. However, if you do have to choose something, which I don't like doing, I'm going to fade these 2 games, but I'm just going to give you guys the numbers anyway, I like Russell Westbrook's threes. He's been quietly hitting his threes. Similar players like Russell Westbrook, Schroeder, Craig Porter Jr., Keon Ellis, right? Jared McCain, Jordan Goodwin, Gillespie, Murray. They have been hitting their three-pointers. They're 11 out of 15, 70%. Just one over the difference. They're 17 out of 30 having to guard the three-point position. The Kings are. Sorry, not the Kings, the Clippers. And he is playing against his old team, so that's kind of motivation. He has played it before. He scored 2 3-pointers. He shot 2 out of 4. But these past games, he's literally 5 in a row for having to hit 2. He's shot 3 out of 10 from 3, 2 out of 9, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 10, and 2 out of 8. So he is attempting these shots. Not saying that he's not. So, again, the hit rate, the similar players look good. His shots look good. He's been catching shoot. He's been shooting from the perimeter. 32% of his shots come from the perimeter. So he's been taking a lot much more threes lately. So, hey, this is kind of a sneaky one if you kind of want to plug this in. I'm probably not going to plug this in at all. And then I like John Collins. If I can find John Collins. I like John Collins' points. Without Harden, he's been stepping up. Him and Kawhi has been balling. His hit rate for hitting over 15.5, which is his line. 4 out of 6, 66%. Similar players get 3 over the line. I think this is probably one of my favorite bets of the night. If you want to teaser this down to at least maybe 14.5, I'm a little bit skeptical about that hook, that 15.5. It just kind of fucks with me every single time. This was the game that I had him for 15.5, and he scored 15. It just made me cry. 7 out of 11. Similar players had Literally, man, they're dead last to having the guard shots within the 10 feet. And that's where he takes most of his shots, within 10 feet. 69% of his shots come from 10 feet, 10 footers. So with that being said, I do like John Collins as a lock for tonight. Locking his points. Him and Kawhi have been getting busy. I'm not touching the late game Grizzlies and Blazers. It's just super late and a whole bunch of players. I'm just not liking any of this team, bro. From neither players. Now, if you made it this far, shout out to you guys. Give you guys a pat on the back. Hidden Same Game Parlay. I'm going to show you guys as of right now. And this is what we're looking at. I got it on literally DraftKings, okay? So here is the odds. The ticket is literally 7,300. However, that I do have a boost on DK. They gave me 20% boost. I think I have another 30% boost that I use on another ticket that's up here. So with that being said, literally, it boosts my ticket to 87.60. Literally, I got Anthony Edwards 28.5. 2 picks. I teasered it down because remember when we said about Norman Powell 20 point. But his line was basically 21. I downed it to 20. Jaylen Brown was 41.5. I downed it to 40. I think Mikal Bridges steps up here big, okay, because no cat. So definitely Mikal Bridges had a terrible shooting night. He didn't shoot that much when he played the Nuggets. 16.5 booked that. Josh Hart plays a very pivotal role, with him being back and Cat being out. So I think he does a little bit of everything. PRNA, points, rebounds, and assists. Cade Cunningham, I already showed you the back-to-back games. On the tail end of back-to-backs, he's had in the past 3 tail end of the back-to-backs, he's had 11, 13, and like 14 assists. So him getting 10 assists, I like that. And I think Kevin Porter Jr., 30, and Miles Turner are crucial in having for them to bounce back and look good without Giannis. And with Giannis staying, they have to produce, they have to look good, so they have to start moving the ball around so that they could be a contender inside of the East. Okay, with James Harden being there, I think now they have to really look like a real cohesive unit. So tail these legs, and if you guys hit, man, make sure you show some love. Again, we produce, we cash tickets out here, all right? We post daily. Shout out to you guys if you guys are still here. Show some love to the YouTube, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are still here, because we show love. And man, we just growing, man. Straight up to the top, baby. Sky's the limit. With that being said, I appreciate every single one of you guys for staying in here and tuning in. And I'll catch you on the next one.